Electronic Arts is making another push into in-game advertising, announcing a new platform called EA Advertising that will let brands place ads directly inside its games. Welcome to Inside Games, the only gaming news show brave enough. Chuck, cut in an ad right here.
Are you still not subscribed to our Patreon? You're missing out on years of culturally explicit, hand-picked memes, like this one. So join today and support Inside Games and help fund more disruptive advertisements like this.
That's right, we're banging down the doors at EA Advertising. We got to get in on the ground floor. Get some Inside Games banner ads inside of Madden or something. Yes, according to EA, this program is designed to help advertisers reach the company's network of 120 million monthly players through what it describes as gameplay integrations that, oh boy, quote, enhance, not disrupt the player experience, end quote.
Yeah, the company says that brands like Satan and Monsanto and Nestle will be able to place dynamic ads. I'm just kidding, they didn't mention them. They'll be able to place dynamic ads in live game environments ranging from stadium signage and digital ad boards, custom in-game content. And doesn't your stomach always turn when you read phrases like that?
EA also plans to offer advertisers custom challenges. Oh, geez, I hate every single word that I'm reading. Interactive experiences, vanity items, and sponsorship opportunities tied to major EA Sports events.
God, I always think of that patent diagram. The guy getting up off the couch, throwing his hands in the air and going, McDonald's! So that the game would continue. Throw the pickle into the hamburger. Whoosh.
Yeah.
Boy, I can't wait. Yeah, EA in an announcement said, quote, in these interactive gameplay environments, brands become part of the game itself.
And if that sounds familiar, it's because EA has been experimenting at least with in-game advertising for years, because of course they have. It's EA. They're going to be the first to do stuff like this.
The publisher previously put ads in games like Battlefield 2142, Need for Speed Carbon, Madden NFL 08, and Skate. More recently, the company faced backlash after adding pause screen ads to EA Sports UFC 4, which it quickly reversed after lots of player complaints.
While EA Advertising is being presented as a new initiative, many EA games already feature advertising. The new platform serves as a centralized banner for those efforts and could significantly expand them.
All right, guys, let's get excited about the first partners announced for the program. Man, just lots of young, scrappy upstarts like Visa, Lowe's, Red Bull, Xfinity, Peacock, and Mountain Dew, which are already running ads in EA Sports titles. Because, yeah, I'm surprised, like, fucking Pizza Hut and Domino's and, I don't know, a cardiologist aren't advertising, too.
I love this stuff. It sounds so out of touch. It's just like the worst story I could ever possibly read. The announcement comes as the gaming industry continues to wrestle with rising development costs and questions about long-term profitability. So get ready for ads.
Yeah, boy, it must be tough.
Must be tough.
7.5 billion in revenue. Damn, how do they even get out of bed in the morning? Can't pay the bills, rough. Yeah, some industry figures have argued that advertising could provide additional revenue streams without requiring higher game prices. And of course, advertising within video games isn't exactly a new idea, but it is still controversial, because who wants to pay to look at a bunch of ads?
Yeah, and I looked this up to give y'all some context. In-game ads date back at least to 1978, when a game called Adventureland included an ad in-game for its follow-up game, Pirate Adventure. So there you go. I think it was all text, but yeah, he was kind of like, coming soon, Pirate Adventure.
What? At least it wasn't fucking Red Bull. And in 2008, then presidential candidate Barack Obama placed the first presidential campaign ads in video games when it put ads in 18 games via Xbox Live.
Si se puede. I love it. Recently, Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick said that it would be, quote, unfair to have in-game ads in premium titles. Probably statements, looking forward to GTA 6. Grand Theft Auto, of course, modern day. You see banners everywhere, but luckily they're satire and not real. But yeah, it would be so easy, and advertisers are salivating at the idea of being represented in something like Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, and oddly enough, he was responding at the time to suggestions made by then industry analyst Matt Ball, who is now a Xbox executive. And of course, Ball recently stepped into a games ad controversy of his own, as we reported, where it's like, it kind of sounded like he was saying it's going to be in-game ads, and he was like, no, I was talking about something else. So this has been kind of on everybody's lips for a few weeks now.
I just think it's gross. I mean, of course it's gross. It's they're just trying to figure out how to get more bites of that apple, more slices of that pie. And really, a sports audience is already sort of massively conditioned to tolerate an extremely high ad load. And really, in sports games, there's an audience that's kind of been accepting of a bunch of stuff that's not really accepted anywhere else in games. The crazy monetization, the loot boxes and stuff like that. Sports games have just been pounded with this. So, unfortunately, if they start slipping in ads, I know a bunch of other sports games have kind of already done this. It's probably expected. I know that a bunch of executives make the argument that just makes it more realistic, probably leading to that aggravating quote about it being, enhancing the player experience, not disrupting it. So sure, yeah, if you see Home Depot banner ads popping all up over EA UFC, it's gonna seem like a more real fight, but that's only because the real events are slathered back and forth with advertising. Just no frame has less than like 2 or 3 sponsors in it, no matter where you're looking or what you're doing. So it's scummy, but that's why personally I don't even touch those games anymore, because it's not really a sports game. It's a platform with the branding of sports on it, designed to extract as much money out of you as it possibly can. And certainly they try to develop the game enough to make it addictive, but not necessarily make it fun. This is another problem I have with just games as service in general. A lot of people find themselves sort of wrapped into it because of all the mental tricks they play to keep you engaged. But they never really question if they're having fun, just driving towards the next goal that's been put in front of them. Meanwhile, being assaulted with pop-up ads and monetization stuff. Mobile games, same thing. I'll start playing a new mobile game, but when they start hitting me with like 5 or 6 pop-ups every time I launch the game, I close it out and I'm done, because it's very clear at that point it's not about providing me a fun time. It's about pushing me to the limits of my tolerance when it comes to advertising and monetization.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Allow me to be the devil's advocate here, because this is really, I don't even know why I'm going to say this, because everyone's going to be mad at me, but I will say that ads in sports games make a lot of sense, because if you watch sports, live sports, there are ads everywhere. They're all over. And I kind of doesn't bother me. I'm used to it. I've been watching football since I was 5. You know, like it's like one of those things where we're all conditioned to see those ads over and over. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't improve it. We should. But they do have a point. Here's the problem. They're executives. So those executives are going to take advantage of that. They're not going to just put a Home Depot splash on the UFC ring. They're going to then start throwing Home Depot 30-second ads at you in the middle of a fucking fight. It's like that's what's going to happen. So that's the problem, is that they're going to take advantage of it. They're not going to actually scale back and be like, no, it's all right. We'll just put the ads in that a normal live sports event would have. They're never going to do that. They're going to fuck you up as hard as they can and take all of your money and take all of your attention until you turn the game off like Lawrence does. That's what's going to happen. So unfortunately, I cannot even side with them as the devil's advocate. I already made myself angry. I tried, but I couldn't.
What's that famous business case study with Folgers coffee? Like, it used to be really high-end coffee, and then they just tweak it. They tweaked it like by 2% to save money, and then they tweaked it by another 2%. You couldn't taste the difference. Then another 2%, and then by the end, it just tasted like shit. I feel like that's kind of how I feel about sports, and I also have grown lifelong football fan, but like I flipped on Monday Night Raw and it was like shocking the amount of advertising. Like when they were putting people through tables, like the table had an ad on it. I'm like, oh God. But I do agree they fit better in sports games. It does make me enjoy playing older games like before all this hit, just an old retro game. Like, it's like why I love World of Warcraft Classic, because it's just simple. You're just playing the game. They're not asking you for anything else. There's no 20 currencies. There's no, so yeah, I get it, and I get games are expensive, but I think advertising is just everywhere, and so I think people understandably recoil, because it's like, I just can't do one. I can't do one more. Can I just, do you have to put them inside my eyelids next? Because we're just sick of it.
Yeah, it's the inevitable terminus of any service-based game, I feel like. It's almost like TV shows that, unless they choose to stop at a high point, they eventually roll off until no one cares anymore. With a service game, since it's understood to be live service, that means non-stop executives are either pursuing one of two objectives or both, which is increasing the audience size and increasing the monetization of that audience. So it's like you try to do both at the same time. Sometimes it's one or the other, especially if you plateau. So what any businessman, Brian, like you were saying, any businessman is going to come along and try to find a way to save 2 cents on a length of pipe. That's just what they do. So if you have a game that is understood to always be ongoing and always be in a state of evolution, any change that happens to that game is going to happen because they think it'll either spread the audience's audience or increase monetization on that audience, and sometimes both. Those are the only goals, really. It's not to... Sometimes making a fundamentally better game is how you expand, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's like it's weird marketing tricks, it's weird reorganization of content, it's using dark patterns to kind of hook people more. So to what Brian was saying, yeah, there is a purity in the older fashioned version of a video game, which is you make it all, you toss it all in a disc, you ask for money. Once the transaction's done, that publisher doesn't care about you anymore, and there's comfort in that, because then you can just enjoy what was made without this like nagging sensation that they're always trying to get at you somehow, which is ever present in a free-to-play game. It's always there. Every time you go to the main screen, there's going to be a store with a little button on it. There's going to be a pop-up when you launch in, and they're going to add 2 pop-ups next season. And then the third season, they're going to do 3 pop-ups with one that happens after your first match. And they'll just find ways because they have scads of playtesters that are giving them feedback about the absolute limits they can push it to. So every service game starts at probably its best possible state, and then it's just a long bleed out from there.
This is going to be really bad too, because EA has Battlefield, and also the Saudis, by the way. They have that acquisition hasn't gone through, but it will. And what they're going to do, they're going to start throwing ads at you during matchmaking. They're going to start throwing ads at you when you're queuing between RedSec matches and things like that. It's just going to be like this is a terrible, terrible idea. I'll never forget. I think it was John Riccatello when he was at EA talking about making people pay for reloads in Battlefield, where he was like, we'll have them do microtransactions for reloads when you're playing Battlefield, which is crazy. That's a crazy thing to say. That's like the most psychopathic thing I think I've ever heard when it comes to microtransactions. Is playing Battlefield and having to pay for a reload. So we just don't want to get there. And the thing we always tell you is to don't support those companies and those games if they do that, right? Don't do that. If they start throwing ads at you during matchmaking and things like that. If you hate it, don't buy the game. Tell your friends not buy the game. It's that easy.
Sports games are so entrenched, though. I'd like to believe that, but man, it's just kind of a different ecosystem where a lot of those, a lot of the furor around those things doesn't really exist. It's just a different kind of customer. But yes, I agree. There ought to be a little pushback. Inevitably, these companies are going to push it a little too far, and then they'll back off. Same old story. But yeah. This isn't great. And the worst possible scenario is that it's a success and EA makes a lot of money, and then every other company's like, oh shit, we need to launch our own advertising division as well. And until that day, until we see all the money that EA makes slipping in banner ads, we won't do it. We're pretty honest here. If we're gonna have ads here on Inside Games Daily, we're gonna tell you about it. And on that note, we also offer ad-free versions of our sponsored episodes through our Patreon. Not to mention buckets of free memes. We're just giving them away. It's not like EA's ever given you a free meme, right? You got to make them yourself. So check out our Patreon. Lots of free stuff there. All of our content's there for free. But we'd like to shout out some of our supporters there. Thank you very much, Talia Monochrome, Jose Diaz, and Fade Into Gaming for supporting us. That means y'all have the ad-free version of this. Everyone else gets to see this banner ad right now.